Hello, second graders. We are going to work on a skill called identifying the subject and predicate of a sentence. It's a language skill that is going to help us with our writing, but also when we're reading, we need to know when we are reading a complete sentence or an incomplete sentence. A sentence is a complete thought. It has to make sense. And for that to happen, it has two parts. It has a subject and a predicate. So over here on this side, we have a pile of subjects. The subject of a sentence is who or what the sentence is about. And the predicate is kind of telling us what's going on with that subject. And we need both parts of a sentence to be complete. So let's just read some of the subjects. For example, we have my mother, school, going to the movies, his best friend. When I read those by themselves, they don't make sense. They're not a complete thought. Let's look at the predicates. Let's read a few of those. Is fun, is kind and helpful, likes to go to the movies, is my favorite thing to do. Once again, by themselves, the predicates don't make sense either. We need to put these two pieces of the sentences together to make one complete sentence that makes sense, that we can visualize. So we're going to do a few of these. We're going to pick some of the subjects and try to find a predicate that can help me complete that thought. Sometimes there might be more than one combination. There might be one extra predicate that we could use to match a subject. Once we get going, you'll see. So let's start with my mother. If I start with that subject, my mother, I need to know what my mother's doing or thinking or saying. It's not complete. So I could say, my mother is fun. I could put that there. That would make a complete sentence. My mother is fun. That's a sentence now. It's a complete thought. I could even say, my mother, oops, Miss Richards having a hard time grabbing it. My mother is kind and helpful. That's a complete sentence. But I need both parts for it to make sense. I like this one. My mother is kind and helpful. I think that's a complete sentence. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to worry about doing them all. There might be another one down there that's even better, but I like this one for right now. Ready to try another one? Let's try school. By itself, it doesn't make sense as a sentence. You can visualize what a school looks like, but when I just say school, it sounds like you're waiting for me to finish my sentence because you are. So I need to pick a predicate to make this a complete thought. School is fun. That's a complete sentence. Now it makes sense. Is there another one you saw in the predicate pile, in the predicate column? Look at how silly this one would sound. School licks my hand. It is a complete sentence. It has a subject and a predicate, but it doesn't make sense. So that would be a kind of a silly sentence. How about is fun? We'll go with school is fun. I like that one today. School is fun. Once again, you might say there's something that's better. We're just picking a few of these so that you can see what a subject and a predicate are in a sentence and see that it makes sense. Let's go with, oh, my friend's cat. That is the subject. This sentence is going to be about my friend's cat. And I think I'm going to pick the one I thought was the silly sentence, this predicate. My friend's cat licks my hand. That makes sense. We could take away this predicate and I could ask you to think of another predicate you could add that would make sense. When you hear my friend's cat, what else could we add to this sentence to make it complete? My friend's cat has black fur. My friend's cat likes to run after a ball. So there's lots of predicates we could put, but we need at least one here to make it a complete sentence. As we're looking at these, let's make sure our sentences all start with a capital letter. They sure do. Do they all have a punctuation mark? They sure do. Okay, we're writing complete sentences. Let's do one more. I wonder if I'm going to pick the one you're looking at because you could be putting some of these together in your head. I think I am going to say reading. Reading. That's my subject. I need a predicate to make it a complete thought. Reading. Ooh, there's a couple that make sense. Reading is my favorite thing to do. That would be a predicate that makes sense. Reading can be very entertaining. Both of those would be great predicates to make this a complete sentence with that subject. I think I'm going to leave with this one though, because I think this actually speaks about me. Reading is my favorite thing to do. So let's read our sentences that we put together with these subjects and predicates one more time. My mother is kind and helpful. School is fun. My friend's cat licks my hand. And reading is my favorite thing to do. Do you notice where the subjects are? They're at the beginning of these sentences. Where are the predicates? They are at the behind the subjects, but they're at the end of the sentence, almost like you would divide your sentence into half. But just remember, those subjects are always, most of the time, found at the beginning. So as you're reading, can you identify the subject and the predicate in your sentences, in your book? If not, don't worry about it. We'll keep practicing. Thanks for listening today.